Ever wonder how a small, foggy island in the North Atlantic came to rule a quarter of the world's population? How did Britain, a nation of shopkeepers, forge an empire so vast that the sun, quite literally, never set on it? This is the epic story of ambition, conquest, and the intricate, often turbulent, history of the British Empire. Our story begins not with a bang, but with the creak of wooden ships and the salty spray of the sea. In the late 16th century, Britain was an underdog, watching nervously as Spain and Portugal carved up the New World. But men like Sir Francis Drake, part pirate, part patriot, weren't content to just watch. They set sail, driven by a thirst for gold, glory, and a bit of good old-fashioned rivalry. These early voyages were risky, often ending in disaster, but they planted the seeds of a global ambition. They discovered new lands, charted unknown waters, and returned with tales that fired the imagination of a nation. This wasn't just about exploration. It was about challenging the established order and claiming a piece of the world for themselves. As the 17th century dawned, this ambition transformed into a powerful engine of commerce. The British weren't just planting flags anymore, they were planting colonies. From the rugged coasts of North America to the sun-drenched islands of the Caribbean, settlements began to spring up. But the real game changer was the birth of powerhouse corporations, most famously, the East India Company. This wasn't just a business, it was a private army, a government, and a trading behemoth all rolled into one. Initially obsessed with the incredibly lucrative spice trade, the company's focus soon shifted to the vast and wealthy lands of India. Through a clever, and often ruthless, mix of trade deals, political maneuvering, and military force, they slowly but surely established a foothold. The wealth that flowed back from these ventures was staggering. It fueled the growth of British cities, funded new technologies, and paid for an ever-expanding Royal Navy, the very tool that would protect and expand this burgeoning empire. The sun was beginning its long, continuous journey across British-held territory. The 18th century was a period of incredible growth, but also of great challenges. The empire was now a global network, a complex web of trade routes, military outposts, and colonial governments. It was a time of immense profit, but also of conflict. Rival European powers, like France, were constantly vying for control of the same lucrative territories, leading to wars fought on multiple continents. But perhaps the biggest challenge came not from an external rival, but from within. In North America, the 13 colonies, fed up with being taxed without representation, decided they'd had enough. The American Revolution was a shock to the system, a brutal lesson that imperial control had its limits. The loss of America was a massive blow, but it didn't stop the empire. Instead, it pivoted. Britain doubled down on its territories in India, expanded its control in the Caribbean, and began eyeing a new continent entirely, Australia. The empire was wounded, but its ambition was far from extinguished. Enter the Victorian era. The 19th century was the absolute zenith of British power. Fueled by the Industrial Revolution, Britain became the workshop of the world. Its factories churned out goods, its navy ruled the waves unchallenged, and London was the financial capital of the globe. This economic and military might was coupled with a powerful sense of cultural superiority. Many Victorians genuinely believed it was their duty, their white man's burden, to bring their civilization, their religion, and their values to what they considered the lesser peoples of the world. This ideology justified a massive new wave of expansion, known as the Scramble for Africa, where Britain and other European powers carved up an entire continent. At its peak, the British Empire was a colossal entity, a mosaic of different cultures, languages, and peoples, all governed from a small island off the coast of Europe. It was a time of immense pride and confidence, an era when it seemed British dominance was a permanent fact of life. But no empire lasts forever. The dawn of the 20th century brought new, unforeseen challenges. The immense cost, both in blood and treasure, of the First World War shook Britain to its core. The conflict drained its resources and weakened its grip on its colonies. Suddenly, the image of an invincible empire was shattered. The Second World War delivered an even more decisive blow. Though Britain stood victorious, it was economically devastated. The war had exhausted the nation, and it no longer had the will or the resources to maintain its vast global empire. At the same time, a powerful tide of nationalism was sweeping across the colonies. Inspired by a desire for self-determination, leaders in India, Africa, and beyond began demanding independence. The winds of change, as Prime Minister Harold Macmillan called them, were blowing fiercely. One by one, the colonies broke away. The independence of India and Pakistan in 1947 was a pivotal moment, signaling the beginning of the end. Over the next few decades, the vast map of red territories shrank dramatically. By the end of the 20th century, the British Empire was a thing of the past. Britain had transitioned into a different kind of nation, a smaller player on the world stage, but still a significant one. So, what is the legacy of this colossal enterprise? It's incredibly complex. The empire spread the English language, parliamentary democracy, and common law systems around the globe. It built railways, ports, and infrastructure. But it also left behind a legacy of exploitation, of conflicts born from arbitrarily drawn borders, and of deep economic and social scars that are still felt today. The story of the British Empire is not a simple tale of heroes and villains. It's a story of human ambition, of the dazzling heights of power and the inevitable decline. It reminds us how the actions of one nation can ripple through time, shaping the world we all live in today in ways we are still trying to understand. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through one of history's most fascinating and complex stories. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more incredible chapters from our past, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us create more content for you. See you in the next one.